Okay, this is some of my sketchbook things for 2016. I got back into drawing again. So here's one of the ones I started out with. This is, I think, the first drawing I think I've ever done in a sketchbook. I wasn't dating them back then. And then I decided to try to do colors. So I would do the drawing. And then I would color it. I didn't do that through the whole sketchbook, but I did it through a lot of the sketchbook. So like this one, I think I drew the black and white version on this side, and then the color version is on this side. And the same thing with the toucan. I did this one, and then I used some of the Zieg Clean Color brush markers to color this in. And then I did this, I think was my first Art Snacks challenge. I just did the black and white, but then the colored version is with my Art Snacks. And I think it was my very first one. It was April. My first Art Snacks. And then I did some trees. I was kind of experimenting with a Pentel, with brush pens, and I think this is the Pentel, but I'm not sure. And then this, I think, was more, maybe this is alcohol markers. And then I did this one. And I have a black and white version too. It's a dog underwater. And then the black and white version here. I kind of like the color version better, but and then I did this is kind of inspired by Mark Crilley. One of his books has kind of like how to do a trees in it. And this, I think I used some alcohol markers, and then I also used some paint pens. And then I just played around with an angel here. And then another angel. I did the color version, and this is alcohol markers. And this is my niece's. I drew a picture. This was also like, this one is the one I did. It's like kind of based on one of Mark Crilley's books, Mastering Mangas 2. But I did the black and white version, and they wanted to color it, so here it is. This one I don't love. I think it was inspired by the art of Frozen, perhaps. Yeah, this was definitely a Frozen kick. I tried to do Anna. Didn't really turn out great. I'm still not very good at people. And then I was seeing a lot of Deer Girls on YouTube, I think, and so I did my own Deer Girl, and she turned out alright. And here's another, like I did, this is more mixing of the alcohol inks with the paint markers. So, oh, and this is also from, I think it's inspired by Underwater Puppies, a book. And here's the colored version. And I did this with Winsor & Newton drawing inks. I actually really like those. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but it didn't turn out too bad. This was my very first time working with them. So, and then, of course, we have one of the little dragons and Toothless. And obviously there's a black and white version. Oops. Sorry about that. Still getting used to the camera too, or the tripod. This is from the Art of Zootopia. It's a really fun book. There's a bunch of that stuff in there. And here's Nick and the color version of Finnick. I really like Finnick. He's my favorite. He's such a sass. And he's a fennec fox, and they're adorable. Here's a colored version of Nick. I'm still getting used to alcohol markers. I feel like this one turned out pretty well for being new to alcohol markers. So I'm just getting back into art. So after lots of years of being out, and here's my son's favorite character from Zootopia, Judy. And this one also, I can't remember what I used. I think there's a lot of Posca pens in here. Some alcohol markers and some Posca pens. I know this stuff is Posca pens and that's Posca pens. I think the background is Posca pens, and then she herself is like colored pencils and alcohol. And then I just did this one. I don't think I ever colored. I kind of got away from doing that. Yep, I didn't ever do that. But this is kind of also inspired by the Art of Zootopia. This one I don't love, but it was I used pan pastels that I got from Sketchbox. This is inspired by Sophie John. I really like her art. I'm nowhere near as good as she is, obviously. And then this is also colored with pan pastels. I really like them. They're different to work with. They really are. But it's from the June Sketchbox. And this is from, I think I used Iron Lac fine liners, and I actually like used them to color in. There's a little bit of pan pastel like in the background, but the wolf itself is all Iron Lac fine liners. I saw the Iron Lac fine liners on Cat Volk's channel. I watch a lot of YouTube. This I have not finished. This is the Zig Clean Color brush, but I never finished it. It's really colorful. I need to finish it. Oops. This is Albert from Sophie Chan's Ocean of Secrets. I got her manga drawing book, and there was how to draw him in there, and so I went ahead and I'd never finished the black and white version. I had more fun with the color version of this guy. And this, I started this out with the drawing inks, but for some reason I had a really hard time with the shading, so I switched to alcohol markers. This is still like the drawing inks, and you can kind of see like blue where I try to use the masking fluid, and it works sometimes, but I think I got the paper too wet, and it didn't work very well with this. But I really like how this turns out as the Gargoyles of Notre Dame. I think I just I have a book with the image in it, and I use that book as reference. This is just a really bad people drawing. This one I really kind of like. This one's sort of inspired by the Art of Zootopia. Oops, get it in the camera here for you. But I basically just like very loosely. And then this one I had a lot of fun. This took me a couple hours to do all like the shadings, but this is alcohol markers, and this turned out way better than I expected. I really kind of like how it turned out. Like I said, I think I like used Art of Zootopia for like the inspiration for like the face, like the shape, but then I went crazy with the rest. Let's see, hopefully we don't slide off again. My desk is really small. And this is an owl. I think this was, I bought a book with owls, and I haven't finished it. This is kind of where like I sort of decided to switch sketchbooks, so I haven't done a lot. This one is a fennec fox, and this one's inspired by Cat Volk. She did I think it was a cat stuck in a jar. I thought that was funny. And that was really interesting. I kind of wanted to know if I could do it so it actually looked like it was stuck in the jar, because I don't know, just like the angles and making it look right, I figured it would be kind of difficult, and it was different, like the paws up against and the ears folded. And I don't think this side quite turned out like it should, but then I did do a color version. I actually really like the way the color version turned out. I think I have it on Instagram, and this one I spent hours with alcohol markers, and there's some colored pencil in there too, but I spent a ton of time like layering the fur, and I used a reference photo. I think I used National Geographic for this one, but I really like how it turned out. I just they had a Fennec Fox and I just used that, but then I think I watched her video a couple times to see how she did the jar. I did my jar different, but it still helped me to see kind of what she did. And this is weird. It makes me think of Percy Jackson, but I think I started drawing like I don't know, like one of the weasels or something in National Geographic, and it didn't turn out, the face was not turning out the way I liked it. So instead I turned it into something else, and actually kind of turned out kind of cool. I started trying to color it, but I didn't like the color scheme, and it kind of like, it was really hard to kind of see the animal. So I really like the black and white version better. I didn't really finish the color version. I should have, but that's alright. And I did this weird man. So I'm still working on people. This one turned out, for me, really well. I got a really nice pen from my Art Snacks. It's the this hybrid technical pen. I really like it. It's kind of fine, but it's kind of a ballpoint-ish. But it's really nice, and I think this was a National Geographic. This I did with pencil, and it's inspired by Insta Lopez, or I don't know what her actual name is, but on Instagram she's Insta Lopez, and it's kind of, that's her style of nose and eyes, and the hair, I looked at a reference photo, but this one is another National Geographic photo. I changed it a little, but I spent hours on the pencil work with this. But it was a boy with a monkey on his head, and I like how it turned out. It turned out pretty good. This one is another with my Techno pen, Technica. And it, like I said, I'm working on people, and I like how you can get the fine detail. I think that's all I have in this sketchbook. I'll go to my next one. I don't have a ton in this sketchbook. This one, I need to finish the other. This is How to Train Your Dragon. I got the art of How to Train Your Dragon. I'm not sure which one, but one of them. This one is obviously, I try to make Elsa. It doesn't really look like Elsa, but to be fair, this is inspired by the art of Frozen, and it was actually it was based off of one of the concepts for her, like not actual Elsa herself. It was one of the concept drawings, I think, done by the artist behind Tarzan. I don't remember his name right now, but yeah, he has a different art style than they use in Frozen. It's still really pretty, and I didn't do it justice at all. This one I just did an elf girl. This one is based on Mastering Manga 2. I was trying to draw people. This one I think is another one that's sort of loosely, like, it's one of Mark Curley's like perspectives, and I don't love how it turned out, but I'm like, well, I've just been trying to play with this. This one is just another girl. It did not turn out great, but you gotta keep working on it. This one is all Posca pen. And this one I saw like a video of Cat Valk doing something with Posca pens, and I really liked it. This is Pan Pastels. I did this actually not long ago, I think last weekend or something. And I really enjoy Pan Pastels. But they are, like I said, they are really different to work with. I did a lot of layering, but I do like them. I love how this turned out. It turned out so much better than I expected. And like I said, especially because you're like using like, looks like makeup applicators to put it on. It's not really easy to do fine detail, but it still turned out really well. And then for the outlining, which helped a lot, I used the Pentel Pocket brush pen, which I really like. It's a really nice pen. And that's all that's in this one. And then the other one that I've been working on that I really like, this is the gray tone tan, and this one's a render. The first one was a render sketchbook, which is really nice. Like I say, you can do things on both sides. This was an accident, I got it wet. But you can, like, it really does not bleed through. It really doesn't. The thing that's hard with these, like when I was trying to do the gargoyles, and even this a little bit, even the, even this a little bit, it's hard because it absorbs differently. So like when you put inks on it, it's not so bad with alcohol, because like I said, you can see this was definitely all alcohol and it seemed to do pretty well. But if you try to do, I don't think watercolor would work very well on this. It just, and I've done like, try to do ink washes and stuff on it, and it just really, I think this one is another one I try to do, like, this is the liquid acrylic ink, and it just, you can see how it just kind of, it sucks it in so fast that it kind of like oversaturates in places, and it's really, like, that's why his face is really funky. It's just, it's really hard to get the saturations right because it's like such a thirsty paper. But it is really, like I said, it's really nice for no show through, and it does work pretty well for alcohols, the alcohol inks, because you can, like I said, you can't even tell that I think there's a little bit, you can tell a little bit here with the green, it fades through just a touch, but I think that was because I was like really, really blending on this side. So the other pad that I didn't know that I would like, but I do, is this Super Deluxe B paper, and the guy at the bookstore said that when he first saw these, he didn't believe this, the only sketchbook you'll ever need, but it actually is a really nice sketchbook. This is actually a really good size because I just don't have time during the week to do these big, which is why there's some that are half finished. Like sometimes it gets to be a little much, and this is nice because it's little. Oops, this is the first page, and I can still spend, like, I think this still took me a couple of hours because this is the ink. This is the Winsor & Newton drawing ink, which like I said, I really, really like it. So I used brushes for this, and I think I also did do a little of my Finetec watercolors, the shimmery watercolors in here. Yeah, there you can see here. Like, I don't know if I can get it to, yeah. But I did that over the Winsor & Newton ink, so, but I'll try to finish up. And the same thing, you can see, and this one is really cool. Like, this is the Finetec. Like, you can tell I just got it when, and this is another thing I saw on YouTube. This is a creature, I don't know, it was in one of my really tiny, I have a few really tiny, like, quick sketchbooks, and I kind of liked him. I think I'll probably do more with them another time. This is charcoal. It's a sketchbox challenge. I didn't love, the last two sketch boxes have been like graphite and charcoal. This might be the graphite one. I don't know, I don't use it that often. This is from my Art Snacks. I got their pencil, and I think I have it in here. But their Draft-O-Matic Alvin. It's really nice. I like it a lot. And then this is my Art Snacks challenge. And like I said, I really, really, really like this is one of these. It's not this color, but it's the Zig Clean color, and it's really nice because you like run it along here, and then you use a water brush. I have a Sketchbox one, and you kind of bleed it out, and it has like a watercolor effect, and it's really, really, these are really nice. And I'll use them later in here, and you see. But anyway, then this is a fox under foliage, and this is also, I used my Draft-O-Matic from Art Snacks, and then this one also is a T-Rex, and same thing. I was really having fun with my Draft-O-Matic, so, and I really like how this turned out. I think this was sort of what I based my my dragon in the other book on, by the one I did with the pan pastels. This one is, I did this right after I got my my Inktober box from Art Snacks. This is the Sumi ink, and I think this is actually the Technica, and this is the Sumi ink. I used it in washes and stuff, and I really like how it turned out. The Sumi ink is really cool. It's like, I don't know if you can see it, but it has a very different finish, and I kind of like it. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it in Inktober. This is more with my Zig Clean color. And I did a lot of like blending, and I really like how it turned out. It's really vibrant. They give you really bright colors. I think it almost gets brighter when you like use it and wash it. I think it's really made to do that, because when you try to do it without it, it gets almost like a dry brush effect. Like, it's really hard to do big areas. This one I just doodled a dog. This is a Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. This one I doodled a snake after I went to a reptile show. My son loves these. I don't have one, but he does love these. And then this is another doggy that I doodled. And I think that's it. I started drawing a horse, but I'm not finished with it yet. But this is my like quick, because it's so nice to do quick small things in it. I really like it. So that's the sketchbooks that I have for right now. And thank you very much.